The life we live comes at the cost of the life we could have lived. An indisputable law of the universe that extends into every tiny facet of every what if and what then and what now. We got talking about this a while back. It'd been the perfect day. Freediving, spearfishing, warm sun and white sand. We realized then that we were irrefutably soul bonded to the sea. And this created a problem because our hearts had already formed their first bond, one with mountains.
So we haven't seen anybody going our same direction, which may be for reason.
Soaring vistas, stone-touching sky, and no amount of rolling ocean horizon could ever replace that. Because the heart doesn't replace.
I can't feel my legs!
It just expands and suddenly you love more. And rather than weigh the opportunity cost of one versus the other, I said, where in this wide blue world of ours can we find both? And this wasn't a rhetorical question, I actually asked you guys. And a lot of you responded and said, the Mediterranean. And 2 years later, here we are. The goal of ours is to collect all the perfect days we can, and they come in an endless variety. The perfect sailing day, the perfect birthday, the perfect sweater day, and right now, we are on the lookout for the perfect day of both sea and stone, and good coffee and food, because we're in fucking France.
Hey, a baguette! Wow, how fun!
Can I get a dirty chai latte?
Yeah,
Cappuccino.
to take away.
And a Coca-Cola. We are all so tired. We got up early. My mom didn't sleep at all last night, basically. I don't know if 2 hours count. So she's extra tired. And I really wanted the dirty chai latte that I got the other day from the coffee shop right here. And they didn't open until 9. So it's now 9 o'clock. I've had a coffee and I'm able to talk to you. The mission of the day, it's leave the dog day. So we already walked the dog. Laundry's in the process of being done. And so now we're gonna head and do a little bit of provisioning. We already did some, but we need some more provisions because we're about to go back to that town with the $12 mango. So we're gonna fill up on food now. The little kid was so absorbed in his game on his phone. He came and he was like leaning against the back of the car, and his grandma was like trying to get him to move so we could open the car to put the groceries in. And then she's like, ooh la la. Love it. We are about to do a 3-way split. I'm going to stay here. My job is to get rid of all of the trash. We did the grocery shopping, but the grocery store has a lot of plastic and we will not have really easy access to a trash can for a few days. So I'm just gonna get rid of all of the plastic now while we have access to a trash can that we've paid to use. Now, while I'm doing that, Brett is going to go and fill up and then return the rental car. And my mom is going to go shower because she's a land lover who is used to showering daily. So she's gonna do that today.
Also with hot
Even though she did it yesterday and the day before. I'm just teasing her. She's actually totally making a wise decision. Our water heater broke, so it's leaking a ton, so we've had to bypass it, so we currently have no hot water on board.
And
so she's gonna show you how glorious the marina showers are and how luxurious our experience has been while we've been here. I'm throwing away trash, Brett's returning the car.
This episode is sponsored by AG1. We've been drinking AG1 for several years now. It's just been part of our morning routine, and that's because it's just really easy to get a bunch of vitamins and minerals, whole food source ingredients, prebiotics, probiotics, all in just a scoop. You put a scoop of AG1 into the shaker bottle, 8 ounces of water, you shake it, you mix it up, and you drink it, and that for us, helps fill in all those gaps in nutrition that we might be missing, whether it's because we're eating too much fish or missing something. It just fills in too many French pastries. It just helps fill in those gaps. And it really does help with gut support, immune support, helping have sustained energy throughout the day. It just helps you feel good. That's why we keep drinking it. And right now, in addition to the amazing welcome gift that AG1 gives you when you sign up, if you use our QR code that's on screen or you go to drinkag1.com/expeditionevans, in addition to that welcome gift, they are giving a limited time surprise gift as well. So go check it out, go sign up, subscribe, and help support your body, your brain, all the good things, and it's time for us to get moving.
Okay, turn the car.
Propane cans, just past it in the white building.
It's a bummer because I need to return the car, but I need to fill it up with gas first, which means I have to leave the marina. The rental car is actually here inside the marina gate, but I have to leave the marina to go to the gas station, which means I have to pay for parking. Oh well.
Now we throw away garbage. We don't want any cardboard on the boat. Cardboard can harbor little bugs. There is recycling on the absolute other side of the marina, like half a mile away, but we'll make the walk. Let's hit the button. Easy peasy. So before this trip, the only other marina shower that I had used was actually in Guatemala. And it was actually quite a bit nicer. This shower only goes for about 9 seconds and then it shuts off. There we go. It's gonna be fun.
Car is returned, no extra fees, all good. It's always a stressor.
Jade's here, time-lapsing and putting away packaging, throwing away packaging, and our fridge stinks, and we can't figure out what stinks in the fridge.
I have.
You got a little
I
coconut.
have French pastry on my face. I just wanted to leave it there so you guys
You got some of this snowball
would
thing.
understand the sheer joy in my life
Yeah,
right
saving
now.
it for later. Is that some good water?
Time to fill our tanks because they are empty. But I swung by the chandlery and got some Aqua Clean, which is what they said is good for making sure your tanks are safe to drink. We have a bunch of bottled water. We shouldn't have to drink our tank water for now, but just in case, and doing dishes and whatever else, this should help it be, at least so it doesn't make us sick if it is making us sick. If we still don't know if that's what was making us sick or not, but this is probably a good thing to do anyway. If you're drinking dock water, I imagine. That's probably why they sell a lot of it. I know this filter isn't the best. It is a carbon filter, so it's doing something. It's got it helps some at least. I've seen some people that have like 3-stage and 5-stage filtrations just to get the water onto their boat, and I could see us doing that if we were long-term on a dock, getting a big time filtration system. But for what we're doing, this will at least keep some of the sediment out of our tanks, and then I'll treat it and it should be all right. Our dinghy is full of water. I should pump that out before we tow it. The plan isn't to go very far. That's why we left the dinghy in the water, is that we're planning on just towing the dinghy, and we're gonna go to some anchorages nearby and keep exploring in this area. We might go up to Italy. Jade's going back on the boat. Nice job.
That's work.
We have about an hour until we need to be gone, so it's in final crunch time. That's it. That's all it takes. Not a whole lot. So I put it in now, then it will hopefully mix in there. Hi.
Hi.
How was your shower?
Great.
Good. They pull you in. You got this. Look at that. No problem. So graceful.
Right.
Well, it's full. Jade discovered the stinky.
I discovered the stinky. Okay, so it was in one of our trays that we keep different things in, like produce. So it has decomposed whatever it was to the point of no longer being recognizable. It's just mush.
Ooh, I saved the bed. That was so close. Oh, and it's probably been fine, but our power went out there for a night.
Yeah.
And so it got probably not all the way cold enough to keep it from decomposing. Whoa, gross. Okay, thanks for finding that.
Yep.
So then you can just delete on the bottom left right there.
Okay.
It didn't go. Hi. How are you?
Didn't go how you wanted it?
Didn't go as planned.
Brett is showing my mom how to delete her accidental nudes off the GoPro before she hands the SD card back to us. But he's like, I'll show you on my GoPro how to do it. Well played, sir.
Jade, what are we doing?
We are, well, right now I'm putting my makeup on. And then we are going sailing. But it's more likely to be motoring because there's not a whole lot of wind today. But we're gonna go south because there's an anchorage there. And because it's going to be calm tonight is the opportunity for good anchoring tonight and tomorrow night. After that, it's going to be too swelly at all the anchorages. So after that, that's when we're going to try to head north to Italy, where there aren't really any anchoring opportunities. So then we'll be in a marina. So we're doing a little more France and then a little Italy. Today's France though.
So you have guests on board, and is it true that your guest is just really demanding and wants to sleep on anchor?
Pass?
You know, if there's a story
Let's
board.
go. We are showered. We are clean. We don't stink. It's a temporary situation because it's a hot and sunny day. And so we're going to go run around in the hot sun, undock ourselves from this boat, and...
Nope, undock from the dock.
Right. We're going to undock from that boat and that boat.
Yeah.
And you guys actually might be able to see what happens when we leave the dock because my mom's going to film while we run around like chickens with their heads cut off.
The boat's full of water, full of electricity, mostly full of diesel. Good enough.
And... just kidding. I was going to say it's full of French pastries, but well, kind
We ate
of.
most of them.
We are
It is full of
French
pastries.
pastries.
Half that
And we're on the boat. So, half credit. Let's go. All right, we're just waiting. We've got a boat hovering in front of us. So once he's gone, then we'll go.
Okay, rear lines are off, so you just get in the front line. We have a little boat maneuvering right in front of us. I'm not sure what he's doing. He's just kind of like floating, hovering. Yeah, obviously he's floating right in front of us.
Okay, beautiful.
Garvan, Port Garvan, sailing vessel Eva, exiting the marina.
Eva from the Outdoorsy Indoctrination. Thank you. Have a good day and see you soon.
Are we clear out there, Jade? No, left and right, boats.
Do you see the red buoy?
Yeah.
Okay. She's so happy to be on the water.
So is he.
Where's your harness? Did you bring the harnesses out?
Yeah.
Penny, go get Brett.
Where, Benny?
Right now, first off, collapsible bucket. How awesome is that? I saw somebody with one like 2 years ago on their boat, and I've been looking at all the chandleries ever since, and I found one.
Finally found
So
one.
I'm gonna put it to use right now. I'm gonna get some water because I want to get all of the dock lines off of the boat and put away because dock lines have risk of falling in and getting in our prop and causing issues. But our dock lines have a little loop that you can put around the cleats, and they are just so that they're slightly too tight, some of them, for me to get off of the cleat, unless they're wet. If they're wet, then they stretch. So I'm about to get it wet. So can we talk about the water?
We can.
Wow.
Wow. Even without sunglasses. It's a very different color without sunglasses.
Be very careful when filling buckets off of a moving boat, because it can pull you in. Be safe, everybody.
Life Lessons by Jade.
Yeah.
Yes!
And then since we're probably gonna go to a marina again tomorrow, I'm gonna leave all these fenders up. I'm just gonna flip them in so they don't pound the side of the boat. Running around doing dock lines and fenders is always a bit of an ab workout.
Work with Jade.
This is part of why we don't film a lot while docking. It's a lot of like.
What's it a lot of?
Back to the front. All's into it.
Yeah, you gotta close that this time.
Yeah,
no more falling in.
We don't want to fall into a hole. I already fell into it once this morning.
Did you really?
Yes! This is out of practice. I don't normally open that. It's all this docking stuff.
Craziness.
Okay. Or all this just not sailing stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of not
We
sailing.
should put up at least our main.
Okay.
Gives a little bit of comfort.
Oh my gosh. It's so pretty. See how many baguettes are in the couch?
I think if my baguettes are in my tummy.
At least two.
Okay, let's get the main up at least. Give us a little bit of roll comfort. There's 7 knots apparent, 3 knots true. So there's no sailing, but we can at least have a little bit of stability.
Beautiful. Oh, we should put the battens in. Let's talk about anchor shape. No, dang it. Let's talk about sail shape. Having a good sail shape and having your sails balanced is supreme. That's when you're sailing well. So when you have a good sail shape, one thing that doesn't happen is luffing, assuming that you have a good amount of wind. Now, we have not been able to get these new sails from Precision Sails to stop luffing, specifically our mainsail, and we've been going nuts trying to figure out the boom and the tension on the halyard and everything. We've been adjusting everything, being like, why is the sail shape just not quite right? It's almost right, but it's not quite right. Well, you know what the problem is? We didn't put the battens in, guys. So the battens for an in-mast furling system go vertically, and they're stiff fiberglass poles. And you know what they do? You know what their function is?
Sail shape.
Sail shape! And we forgot to put them in. They are in a bundle in the back room on the boat. And so,
Are they on the boat?
Yeah, we have them here.
Nice.
So we can put them in today when we anchor, now that we have realized that we are in fact the problem. For full disclosure, Precision, this is our fault, not yours. Worst advertisement ever.
Right now we're headed offshore because one of the forecasts shows that there's wind offshore. So we're gonna go try and see if we can find it. But behind us is kind of a cool thing. So right there, actually where do we come from? Right there. So yeah, right there is Italy. That's Italy. Right there is France. And then right there is Monaco. So we're currently looking at 3 countries.
And then for context, those cliffs right there above Monaco, see that big chunk of cliff right there behind the skyscrapers?
That's not where we were.
Yes, it is.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's where we were hiking. I genuinely don't think I could pin down why I like hiking. The pieces I love about it don't really have anything to do with, well, hiking. You can drive to see the views, you can sit on a bench to smell the fresh air. So why then is it so much more enjoyable when both my lungs and my glutes are burning?
I mean, a stunning view from here, overlooking this, what this used to be.
We're touring some properties.
Looking at our first $1 property.
It's probably not a $1 property. I've decided it probably comes down to childhood indoctrination. I went on my first 20-mile hike when I was 7. My mother, this one right here, she still regularly goes on 20-mile hikes just for fun. She's not even trying to get anywhere. She just ends up back at her car. What if we refit these properties right here with this view?
Okay, I'm in.
Don't lie to me. And Brett's family followed the same parenting guidebook apparently, so when we started off on our own life, we just kind of kept on hiking,
I love
because that's what we do for fun. We never even went anywhere. We just ended up back at our car.
Yeah, Blair Witch Project.
This right here is St. Capstone, where we anchored and went and saw the 12-euro mango and the stern anchor. Before this is the rolling anchorage. And then we went right in there and walked around that point. That's where we did that little walk. Seeing it from a different
Where's that
perspective.
point? That point right there.
It's crazy when you see it, because we sailed for like a whole afternoon to come over to here.
Yeah.
It really puts into
And we drove in 20 minutes.
Yeah, the speed at which you're able to sail the world.
Speed of a slow snail. I found it. There's the boat we toured.
We were at the restaurant the other night, and it's what Brett and I have gone to a few times. We really like the wait staff, so I was like, "This is my mom," and he's like, "It's like, oh, it's like a dog, female dog."
Yeah. It's like, I think this is supposed to be a good thing, so we'll assume positive intent here.
He says it in French, and then he runs inside and is like trying to figure out how to say this French idiom in English. And he comes back, he's like, "It's because a dog can't have a kitten." I think it's the French version of like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree or chip off the old block. Basically saying we look a lot alike.
Look at how they just like stapled the rocks back on. We just found the trail. We were lost for a minute, and this is it. It's switchbacks. This is it.
And when we have kids, we will probably take them on hikes and tell them, "No, really, this is fun." And thus, the generational cycle will continue into perpetuity, and thousands of dollars of would-be movie ticket purchases will instead go to ripstop nylon and moleskin.
Originally, we were going to be sailing today, and we were thinking of coming over here and sailing to Saint Jean Cap Ferrat again. If you fall, you'll get caught by the nets. It's like going to Topgolf. You're good. Probably to do the same hike. But the forecast said that it was going to be 20 gusting 35, kind of how when we got here. And I didn't feel like trying to get on and off the dock like that. But it's not bad. It's a little windy, but definitely not 20 gusting 35. So, oh well, it's a beautiful day.
So this is a great hike. Parking is at the top of the hill. Normally, you have to walk all the way up to get the great views. With this, you park at the top and then you walk down. So
now we get to walk back up.
literally anticlimactic.
The climax was at the top. Yeah.
So,
No, but now we get two climaxes.
that is always the goal.
So here's the anticlimax. What books are you reading? Oh yeah, I read those for the pictures too. No, wait.
Those mountains right there is where we did our scenic drive.
Look at the colors here.
Yeah. So many options around here.
Those were the hills where we went
Through the country over and over again. Welcome to France. Welcome to
That's
Italy.
right.
Welcome
And
to
your phone
France.
kept charging you over and over because
Yeah.
you kept jumping countries.
Yeah, kept getting confused. Was charging her $10 every time she crossed the border. So she's gonna have to call them when she gets home.
Like, thanks Verizon.
5 knots.
Ooh, getting
That's
there.
true wind speed. So
Getting there.
pretty soon.
I was just filming Jade because she looks pretty.
You did great. Yeah, she does look beautiful.
I can film you if you want to look.
She's the more beautiful one. So yeah.
You know. Actually, then there's Dingo.
We're going for beauty.
If you start saying I'm really beautiful, but I look just like you, are you being really vain?
A cat can't have any puppies.
Something I noticed earlier today, all these screws are probably vibrating. They're probably vibrating loose. So, I had a screwdriver handy. Here, I tighten them up.
We still don't have any wind, so we would keep trying to go out there to find the wind. However, there are some boats who have done that ahead of us, and they're still not sailing. So that kind of gives it away that there's no wind out there either. So we're just going to go ahead and turn now, because there is enough wind that we should be able to sail a little bit. It'll at least be stable. So I'm going to turn now once I tell Brett, so he doesn't fall over.
What's the name of our destination? Try it. Pronounce it. Everybody loves it when we speak French.
Yeah, it's really impressive actually when we do. Once day Espomador. That's where we're headed. Alright, autopilot on. And now we chill and watch for boats. Except for by Monaco, so watch for yachts. It's the perfect temperature for being in the sun. It's a little chilly in the shade. But it's only for a little bit. Thanks, Mom. You're awesome. Thanks for helping us film.
Monaco, according to Wikipedia, there's less than 9,500 people that are actually like native to Monaco, or though.
What's the correct term?
I have no idea.
Finish your chips so we can go sailing. There's wind.
So I looked up a little bit about Monaco because we were trying to figure out how big it was. In our hike, we were thinking maybe it was 4 square miles or 4 square kilometers. Turns out 2 kilometers squared. We overestimated the size of this country. It's only the second smallest. The only thing smaller, only country smaller, sovereign state, would be Vatican City. I'm pulling towards me or out?
You're pulling towards you, and then I'll let out the slack here. We're gonna put the head sail out because there's some wind.
Found the wind.
We found it. Well, it found us. Pull, Mama, pull. Give it a good
There you
dig.
go. That's good.
That's pro level stuff, Mom. Not me not being a pro.
Look at this. We're sailing.
Let's turn the engine off. I would love it if we did that.
We did it. We found the wind. We are full sails and we're sailing. Oh, blown out. This is perfect.
That would make sense.
We've got 9 knots true, boat's doing 6 knots. Pretty good. We're just passing Monaco now.
Remember I said it was the perfect temperature? Now it's the perfect temperature with a sweater.
Still the perfect temperature. I like your optimism.
Yeah. It's a big sailboat up there.
Yep, no sails. Lame.
Is it a catamaran or a...
No, I don't think so. Looks like a big mono.
It's pretty.
Got some big yacht coming right at us, but I think they'll pass in front of us by like a couple days. What was that?
2.38 miles of coast on Monaco.
That's so much.
So we're sitting here looking at Monaco and we're trying to decide where does it end exactly. So we're trying to estimate. I was saying I can estimate if I walk a mile, I could say like, oh yeah, I've walked about a mile. But from looking at it, I couldn't decide how many miles across it is. But it looks like 2.38 miles, 700 football fields.
700 football.
12 million bananas.
Well, a 5K is 3.2 miles, so maybe like 4 kilometers.
What's your impression of sailing the French Riviera?
I could do this for a season.
Yeah? Not too terrible?
Not terrible at all.
What are you doing,
A lot of dog cuddling today.
Penny pops her head up every time she hears a helicopter, and then like relaxes again when she realizes that it's not a drone. So if it was a drone, she'd have to get up and chase it. The helicopters, they can do whatever they want. She doesn't care.
Except for like the blue one.
What a beautiful sail right now.
Absolutely.
Like, what is this right now?
So nice.
I hope the camera's doing this justice. It feels like this is actually a pretty good shot, just to show you how perfect this is right now. Sea is pretty calm, just a little bit of rollers going by. It's actually probably mostly just from all the boats driving around. But perfect wind for just a nice gentle sail. We're doing 4.5 knots. Ready?
Yeah.
Tacking.
Tacking.
Motion, this is level signal station, switch on channel 1, please.
Are you looking for fishes?
Wow, that was crummy. That was a really
It
good
was really slow.
Well, yeah, also it got all tangled over here, so I made it where you couldn't pull it.
Maybe a little more practice before the crossing.
Definitely.
I don't know, the crossing
Although
really
we
tack.
probably won't tack much.
We're going pretty slow.
The plan is that we are going to sail right past our anchorage. We're here now, it's right there. But we really want to see the town on the other side of this outcropping. We just don't want to anchor over there because that's where people's chains or anchors get stuck. So we don't really want to risk fouling our anchor. So should I explain what fouling an anchor is?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you drop your anchor down, anchors can't actually hold the boat by the weight of the anchor. It's a physics equation. So it has to do with the weight of the anchor plus the weight of the chain and then the angle that it's pulling against the sand. But when it's pulling against the sand, that's great. When it's pulling against the grass, it's okay. Mud, depends on the mud. Sometimes that's super great. But it can get caught on things that aren't supposed to be on the seafloor, such as cement pilings or other people's anchors that they've left down there, or like chain, things like that. And if it gets caught on those things, because of the hook shape of the anchor, sometimes it's impossible to get it up without diving down to unhook it. And so in this anchorage around the way, there's a ton of chain and anchors, and I think cement pilings as well, on the seafloor. So you have a huge risk of accidentally getting your chain caught in one of those things. So the divers over there are making a really good living going diving all the time to get the chains unstuck.
Yeah, we read to have a diver come out, it's 1,500 euros to have them come. Like that's like the going rate.
A lot. Round 2 of setting the anchor. Anchor goes down because I found a beautiful patch of sand, which is ideal. A beautiful clean patch of sand is gonna have the best holding. So I drop the anchor right in the patch of sand and we start letting out the chain with the windlass. And as I'm letting out the chain, Brett puts the boat into reverse. So we're reversing back and having a chain distance between us and the anchor. That's how it goes. But as the chain's going out, and now I'm 30 feet behind the anchor, now I'm 50 feet behind the anchor, about then, I see a rock go by. And then I see another rock. And then I see some boulders. And at that point, I'm like, call it. Because we're basically dropping our anchor chain right next to a bunch of rocks. So as soon as the wind shifts and we shift, our anchor chain's gonna end up wrapped in those rocks. And so I was just sitting there thinking, this is probably why everybody says their anchors are getting stuck here. So they started out getting stuck on the rocks, and then people were just leaving their anchors behind because they were too stuck. And then now people get stuck on rocks and chain and anchors. So it's just kind of a bit of a perpetual cycle. So I told Brett to call it, and we're gonna go to the other anchorage. That anchorage is basically the only area left was the rocky spot. So we're not gonna fill that spot. Instead, we're gonna go around the corner where we know that there are no rocks on the surface floor.
Not rolly.
Not rolly. Not rolly.
Rock.
Minerally. Okay, we are set.